Yo, what is up, my guys? It is your boy, Press Buttons. Welcome to another episode of This Is How I Press Buttons. Woo! I'm your host, Press Buttons, and this is the podcast you all love. I know the Fortnite season came out about 2 weeks ago, but it's been honestly a minute since I've actually sat down and actually talked to y'all. But this is going to be one of those podcasts today. Every single gamer starts here, right? Choosing their equipment, okay? Now, console PC, Xbox versus PlayStation, PC versus laptops. There's a whole different war. It's like a world war, kind of, honestly. But do not fear. I'm going to sit with y'all, and I want to talk to y'all how to choose your gaming equipment right, how to choose your gaming console right, how to choose your PC right. Now, the PC, there's a little bit more to look at. There's a lot more to look at and know what to get. As of a gaming console, you have everything that you need. It's just honestly going to come down to maybe the performance and maybe the games, maybe the original games. But for consoles, for PC, you have to look at what's the video card like, what's CPU like, how much gigabytes of RAM, how much VRAM's on it, and all that, and how much storage you're going to need to get on there. Because some games on PC are, so I want to talk to y'all the good and the bad about everything, okay? So we're going to start console or PC. That's where we're going to start. Okay. Now, this will all probably just work for consoles. But consoles, really, everybody talks about Xbox and PlayStation. Those are really the two big competitors. Switch, I would still get. Okay, Switch has its own games. It's not the best for when it comes to, the Switch 2, like I've talked about. It's honestly pretty good. It does have some more power. It can run Fortnite better. But it doesn't give me that console-like experience. Mario, all those games are great. But, it doesn't have Halo. It doesn't have Little Sackboy. It doesn't have Horizon. It doesn't have Forza. Because Nintendo doesn't really make, highly intense games, maybe, like Metroid. But, Xbox and PlayStation, they make kind of more competitive games. And not all games are high or they're not optimized for the Switch 2. Like I played Fall Guys on my Switch 2, still stuck at 30 FPS, while at your console and PC you're getting from a range of 60, maybe up to, I don't know, maybe 200 FPS probably. Now, we're going to talk about the consoles first. Okay, so the console wars. Now, no one's really talking about this anymore. It was back when the new Xbox and the new PlayStation came out back in 2020. So, we're going to talk about how exactly do you choose between an Xbox Series X and a PS. Okay, so here is a good way to compare consoles. Xbox Series X versus PS5. And it gave me a table. It gave me tables full of information that I need to know to choose between the Xbox or the PlayStation. What it actually told me, and also, if you're in this kind of bug, what should you get? Now, like I said, if you get an Xbox or a PlayStation, I would still get a Switch. But if you have a PlayStation or an Xbox, I'll also explain maybe why you wouldn't get another handheld, but I'll talk about that later. But I'm going to talk about here the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. Okay? The CPU. Okay? The CPU, it's basically the processor that processes all the information. You're going to a powerful CPU to run your games well. Okay? Now, the Xbox Series X has an 8-core AMD Zen 2 at 3.8 gigahertz. The PlayStation 5 has an 8-core AMD Zen 2 at 3.5 gigahertz. So you can already tell Xbox has already taken the lead. The GPU, the Xbox Series X has 12.15 teraflops, which that's 52 CUs at 1.825 gigahertz. While the PlayStation 5 has 10.28 teraflops at 36 CUs at 2.23 gigahertz. Now you can just already tell that the Xbox is already in the lead. Now the RAM is basically how much your laptop can, or how much your device can process information. Kind of, you know what I'm saying, like how much it can process it. So both of them got the 16 gigabytes with the GDDR6, which is great. Now the storage, this is where it's going to get you. Xbox Series X, 1 terabyte, but only 802 gigabytes usable because it's probably got to load all the data and all the storage and probably a whole bunch of information to get the console up and running. PlayStation 5 has 825 gigabytes and only has 667 gigabytes usable. So you can write tell Xbox is still taking the lead. Now, here's where it's going to kind of get a little bit in the middle. Xbox Series X. For the expandable storage, you can buy the Seagate expansion card. It's like a little plug, and you can plug it into the back of the console. Absolutely great. For PlayStation 5, they have the M.2 NVMe SSD slot, which you actually put that inside the console. Now, I've seen, for the PlayStation 5, I've seen that it's actually very, very easy to do, okay? It's honestly not hard to put the storage expansion in. I've heard it's very, very easy. And I've seen videos on it. I can do it myself. Now, here's the thing here. While the Xbox is still the lead, right? The PlayStation, if you think of the expandable storage, if you don't know, external storage can actually be slower. So, external storage is like something that's plugged in outside of the console. Internal storage is inside the console. I mean, it's honestly just kind of common sense here. But it's known that internal storage is actually supposed to be better than external. So I think PlayStation is honestly going to get this because internal storage can actually work faster than external. So, yeah, so the disc drive, the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, so they both have the exact same disc drive. So Xbox Series X wins that section. The verdict, the Xbox Series X, this is what ChatGPT gave me. The verdict that it gave me was Xbox Series X is slightly more powerful on paper, better GPU and faster CPU clock, while the PS5 has faster SSD for quicker loader times. Now, here's where you gotta use your kind of how you think your belief, okay? If you're someone that wants more power, but also, of course, quick loading times, then you're gonna want to go with the Xbox. If you want a faster console, faster loading times, but kind of lose some of that power, and you don't care about losing some of the power, then the PS5 is going to be how you're going to want to do it. The Xbox, okay, now we're going to talk about the games and the exclusives, okay? The Xbox Series X has Starfield, Forza Horizon, Halo, and Hellblade 2. Okay, so people know about those games. I heard Starfield is a really cool game. PlayStation 5. Spider-Man 2, God of War Ragnarok, Final Fantasy, and Horizon Forbidden West. Now, honestly, this is going to fall into you. Depending you like the PlayStation games or the Xbox games, that's just going to kind of depend on you. So you could be making sacrifices here. You could sacrifice maybe because you like the games on the PS5, but you're going to lose some of that GPU and CPU power. Or you get the Xbox Series X, but if you get that, then you're going to lose the faster expandable storage, which honestly, they should be about the same, but the PlayStation 5 will be just a little bit faster. Now, Game Passes. Xbox Series X has Game Pass with a massive library and day one releases. And for PlayStation 5, it has several, but the two that it's talking about right here is Extra and Premium. But they have a smaller catalog, but it is growing. And here's the verdict that it said for that. The verdict, the PlayStation 5 wins in exclusive single-player multiplayer. The PS5 wins in exclusive single-player experiences, while the Xbox shines in value with Game Pass. So, if you'd rather prefer... And honestly, Spider-Man 2 and all that, those are probably going to be on PlayStation Plus, okay? Okay, next. We're going to talk about the design and the cooling. So, the design. The Xbox Series X, it basically looks like a tower-like, discreet, simple. We all called this the trash can back when it first came out. That was just a meme. It was literally just called the trash can. The PlayStation 5, it looks futuristic, which I am going to say does look futuristic for sure. It's large and curvy. Now, the cooling on it, it's very quiet and efficient for the Xbox, but on the PlayStation 5, it's generally quiet with some fan noise. So if noise is a big thing, then you're going to want to kind of take note of that. So the verdict, the Xbox is more compact and better for the middle list setups. PS5s are flashier and bigger. Okay? Now the user interface and features for the UI is the familiar Xbox One style, and then the PlayStation 5 has a new interface with activity cards. So for the quick resume. In quick resume, if you don't know what that is, basically it means, let's say you're playing Forza Horizon 5 on the Xbox, okay? But you want to go play Fortnite. when you're bored on Fortnite, you want to go continue that race in Forza, it'll take you right to the game. PlayStation 5, it does not have a native quick resume. For the Xbox Series X, for the backward compatibility, it's full Xbox, Xbox 360, and Xbox One games. Now, PlayStation 5, it is only mostly the PS4 only. And of course, PS5 games too. But for backwards compatibility, it's the PS4 only. So the verdict, Xbox wins in backward compatibility and quick resume. PS5's UI feels newer and more modern. Okay, I do like the UI on the PlayStation 5, honestly, just a little bit more, just because it just looks very, very cool. But yeah, for the price, the Xbox Series X is $499. The PlayStation 5 is $499 with the disc, $449 for the Slim. The Xbox Series S is only $300. Honestly, if you're just a casual gamer, you don't care about getting all this fancy schmancy stuff, then I would recommend just getting an Xbox Series S. It's $300. Well, oh no, sorry. No, these are actually higher prices for the Xboxes now. They rose them up. Let me actually look at the prices. I totally forgot they actually rose them up. And Series S's are now $340 or $380. Walmart says $340. GameStop says $380, and Amazon. Okay, so the cheapest is actually going to be $379 according to the Xbox website, which is honestly a lot. Now for the X, well, get ready to dump on $550. It was due to market conditions and rising development costs. So, yeah, so I can see why they had to increase the price. Now, ChatGPT will tell you which one you should get. Get this Xbox if you love Game Pass and want the best value. You can care about backwards compatibility. You prefer a slightly stronger console for multi-platform games. Okay, now the Xbox Series X 2TB is $600. The PS5 Pro is $700. Okay, so you can already tell the Xbox is already winning for price. But this is where it's going to change. The Xbox Series X 2TB has 12 teraflops, which is the same. But the PS5 Pro has 16.7 teraflops, up to 45% more. So you can already tell that the PS5 Pro is taking the lead all of a sudden. Like, wow, Xbox was so good, and now all of a sudden PlayStation's already taken over. Which is crazy. Now, the CPU, the Series X has the 8-core Zen 2 at 3.8 gigahertz, while the PS5 Pro has the Zen 2 up to 3.5 gigahertz, which is honestly the RAM. It's the RAM for the both. It's the same 16 gigabytes of RAM DDR6, but for the PS5 Pro, they add an additional 2 gigabytes for DDR5. So you can just already tell that you're getting more RAM for the PS5 Pro. And the PS5 Pro has upgraded cooling and it's quiet, so they have improved the fans. Now, for the Xbox Series X, the ray tracing, it has the RDNA 2, which is standard. For the PS5 Pro, the enhanced RT performance. I mean, wow, that's pretty interesting. And now, for the backward compatibility, the Xbox Series X, it still has the regular OG Xbox, the Xbox 360, and the Xbox One games. For the PS5 Pro, we have the PS5 and the PS4 with some PS4 boost. And now for the disk drive. This is where it may also get you, though. For the Xbox, you do get a disk drive. For the PS5 Pro, you do not get a disk drive, but you can buy it for $90 and put a disk drive on it. Now you're probably wondering, should you even worry about all this new extra stuff and just get that 2TB Xbox? That's honestly up to you. So that way your PS5 games do not go to waste, or you can just go trade them in at GameStop and buy or sell a few of your games and then buy your disk drive. Okay, for net connectivity, the Xbox Series X has the Wi-Fi 6E, while the PS5 Pro has Wi-Fi 7 with VRR and 8K pass-through. So you can just already tell the PS5 Pro is just going to be the more powerful and faster console. Which should you choose? So choose the Xbox Series X 2TB if you prioritize killer value, extra storage, full disk support, and quick resume. Also, if you invested in Game Pass and love the legacy console access, and you prefer a quieter, more efficient system at a lower price. Choose the PS5 Pro If you crave enhanced visuals, AI upscaling, superior ray tracing, and frame rates, you play pro boosted single player exclusive like Spider-Man and God of War, and you plan to game on a 4K or 8K refresh display and want future-proof performance. So the final word. It's like Series X 2TB, more storage, plus same top tier performance, and $100 less. Just have Pro, next level graphics, smooth gameplay, smart AI tech for visual enthusiasts. Okay, so now that we got the two consoles out of the way, now we're gonna go over PC. I'm gonna say is you kind of have to be a little bit more responsible for a laptop because laptop. Now here's two things also. See, so there's PCs and then gaming PCs and gaming laptops. Okay, you should get a PC if you'd like to upgrade, but it's not portable. You should get a gaming laptop that's portable, but you can't upgrade it. Now CPU, GPU, the CPU is basically the processor like your Intel or your AMD Ryzen, and your GPU is like your GeForce RTX and your AMD Ryzen. Now, your PC, you can customize everything. You can literally take just a PC case from scratch and literally just build everything. And you can upgrade. Let's say NVIDIA announces this whole new futuristic video card, then you can get it as long as it fits you're not going to really be able to do that. But you can still upgrade the RAM, the storage, and all that. Having to take my Switch and play whatever games on there. And there's just more games on there than my Switch does. So honestly, it's a win-win for me. I'm not going to really be sitting there upgrading. I'm probably never going to upgrade this laptop because it's fine how it is. And it's good how it is as well. And it runs smooth and everything. So I honestly have no reason to upgrade. Now, these are things you're going to look for when you're shopping for a PC or a laptop. You're going to look at the CPU. The CPU is your processor. Now, honestly, the video cards is one of the things you're really going to want to look at. So that way you know that you're getting the best. And you can chat GPT. You can say, how much FPS am I going to get? The highest resolution I can get. You can literally go and ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT is very, very easy to use. I'm telling y'all, it will change your life. I've honestly started using ChatGPT to search things instead of using Google. I've honestly kind of started to do that. And I'm not lying because it pulls stuff off online. Instead of me pulling stuff online, why can't it just do it for me? And of course, AI is not 100% reliable and trustworthy yet, but it's still honestly it's still good. It's honestly still really good to go on ChatGPT and have it pull stuff up for you without you having to do it. It's honestly a game changer. So I've honestly started using ChatGPT more than actually searching things up on Google. Next is your gigabytes of RAM. This is basically how much information your PC or laptop can process. Okay, so it's honestly very, very easy for that. You're gonna want, and I'll tell you everything that you're gonna want to know. I want to tell you like the max that you're probably, or the minimum you're gonna want to get to make sure that you get good performance. Your VRAM, this processes all of your needs for rendering images and graphics on your screen. So I will go and tell you the minimum. Okay, the minimum that you're gonna want to get. So for your CPU, you're gonna want to get a 13th gen Intel Core i7, and it's the 13620H model. If you get that, you will be great for It will be great for gaming. Your GPU, you're at least gonna want to get a 3060 at least. Now, I would go higher. I would go for a console I've been talking a lot. A video card that has 8 gigabytes of VRAM. Now, what you can do, I honestly don't know what video cards have 8 gigabytes of VRAM, but I can go on ChatGPT and say, which video cards have 8 gigabytes of VRAM? And it's just that simple. And it's saying, here's a list of 8 gigabyte VRAM. It's showing the 4060, the 3050, GTX 1070. Now, I wouldn't go that old. I would not go to the GTX. I would stick with at least the RTX. I would not do an RTX 3050. That's honestly a little bit older. I have a 4050, so I don't get the 8 gigabytes of VRAM, unfortunately. But the games still run great. I would at least aim for a 4050 at least. Or sorry, probably a 3060 at least. But I would try to go for the highest of 4060. Now, of course, the better the video card or better the graphics and all that you get, it's going to get just more and more expensive. Next, you're going now for your gigabytes of RAM. All games nowadays are 16 gigabytes of RAM. You're just going to have 16 gigabytes of RAM. It's just not an option. Now like I said, your VRAM, 8 gigabytes of VRAM. Now here's something you're going to do. You're going to want to go on Steam or Epic Games, because both of them do have, or really just all gaming platforms like Steam, Epic Games, Riot Games clients, or Battle.net. Those are all going to have basically what I'm saying is you click on a game, you scroll all the way down, it's going to tell you the system requirements. Now there's going to be a minimum, like the minimum graphics you're going to need, and the recommended. You're going to want to make sure that you stay in the recommended. Okay, don't go for the minimum, go for the recommended, because you're going to want to be sure that you're getting all of the recommended and best graphics that you can. And make sure you get the smoothest, make sure you get the sharpest gameplay. So, what I would do, I would pull up a game like GTA, Call of Duty, right? The games that actually have, really just GTA or Fortnite. Because those are like the higher graphic games. You're going to make sure that you pull one of those up, so that way because those are going to tell you the graphics that you need, and that's just going to get you prepared for all these, for any other. If you're probably thinking of even playing GTA and Call of Duty, then you're probably going to want to do that. Now for GTA, if you search up GTA 5 on Steam and you scroll down, it's going to tell you the minimum and the recommended, like I just said. For the recommended, you're going to want Windows 11, okay? Now, I would recommend getting a Windows 11 because I heard that Windows 10 is going to stop, Microsoft is going to stop servicing it in support. So you're going to be sure that you get a Windows 11. If you get a bug on Windows 10, you're honestly just stuck there. So, for the operating system, you're going to want Windows 11. But let's just do minimum. Let's do minimum first to tell y'all. So for the OS, at least Windows 10, at least. Although I honestly don't really think you should get Windows 10 at this point. A processor, you're going to want an Intel Core i7 770 with an AMD FX 9590. Now the memory, you're going to want 8 gigabytes of RAM. For the graphics, you're going to want an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1630 with 4 gigabytes of VRAM, or an AMD Radeon RX 6400 with 4 gigabytes of VRAM. It's telling you the storage, you're going to want 105 gigabytes, okay? And the sound card, you're going to want it's DirectX 10 compatible, and yeah. And it's telling you some additional notes. Now, some of it's saying SSD required and all that. Now, recommended. Like I said, you're going to want to stick to the recommended, not the minimum. You're going to want to stick to the recommended, unless you're really wanting to play, but just don't spend you just don't want to spend a lot of money. Go for the minimum. But if you have the money, go for the recommended. I promise you will thank me later to get the highest and smoothest and vivid gameplay. Operating system, you're going to want a Windows 11. For the processor, you're going to want an Intel Core i5 9600K or an AMD Ryzen 5 3600. The memory, you're going to want a 16 gigabytes of RAM. For the graphics, you're going to want a GeForce RTX 3060. See, I was right. See, the minimum, you're going to want an RTX 3060. But you want to make sure that it's 8 gigabytes of RAM. For the AMD Radeon, you're going to want the RX 6600 XT with 8 gigabytes of RAM. You're going to want 105 gigabytes of storage, and the sound card, it's Windows spatial sound compatible, containing Dolby Atmos support, and blah 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 blah. So that just tells you, that's just a little example. Now we can do Call of Duty. I'll just look at it and just see you need the same thing. Yeah, they're honestly about, now the processor for Call of Duty, the only difference I'm seeing for the recommended is you're going to want an Intel Core i7 with a 6700K. So that's going to be a little bit more. That's honestly really about the only difference, really. You're going to want Windows 10 with 64-bit version, blah, blah, blah. Your CPU, you're going to want a Core i3 with 3225. That's honestly too low. I would just not go for the minimum at this point. Remember, you're going to want 8 gigabytes of RAM. And the GPU, you're going to want an Intel HD 4000. Now, for recommended, you're going to want Windows 10 or 11 64-bit. You're going to want an Intel Core i5 7300U or an AMD Ryzen 3 3300U. memory, you're going to want 60 gigabytes of RAM or higher. GPU, you're going to want a GTX 960. You're going to want an AMD R9 280 or an equivalent DX GPU. Now, for the VRAM, you're going to want 8 gigabytes of VRAM or higher. And if you want additional to make your game better, you need to make sure that you have the NVMe solid state drive. Now, they also have another one for epic quality preset. So this is basically getting you better graphics for your games. So for the operating system, Windows 10 11, CPU, i7 with the 8700 or the AMD Ryzen 7 37. The graphics, you're going to want an NVIDIA RTX 3070 and AMD Radeon RX 6700 XT or an equivalent GPU. Memory, you're going to want a 16 gigabytes of RAM, VRAM. It's pretty much the exact same from there. The only difference is the CPU and the graphic, your GPU. So that's just, you're just going to kind of check that so that way you know what you're trying to aim for. And yeah, so we're going to put this down into simpler terms, console or PC. Choose console, because console, you pay for it, you're ready to go. You have all the games that can run all just fine at the 60 FPS. For PC, you are kind of limited. You can get up to 4K, but you're going to be spending a lot on a laptop or PC. But you can get better, you can get smoother. Like, you can get up to, like, probably 360 FPS if you spend a lot of money on a PC. While for your console, you're getting 120 max, which 120 FPS is smooth, for sure. But you'll kind of want to check that there. Now, for PCs, yeah, like I said, for the PCs, you're going to want to be sure that you stick with that. You're going to want to be sure that you have everything that you're going to need. But you're also getting a good benefit from it, which is better graphics, better visuals, more smoother experience for games. So that's honestly that's also kind of how it breaks down to. Another way is, would you rather play on a keyboard and mouse, or would you rather play on an actual controller? Now, on computers, on PC, you're able to hook up a controller. It's like one time I played Fortnite on my PC, but I connected my Xbox controller and it was playing on my Xbox. You can do that too. So PC, I honestly think PC wins because it's smoother, and you can also hook up a controller, but you're also getting better gameplay. And if you like Xbox, you can get Xbox Game Pass on here. Now on Steam, they do have some PlayStation games, like they have all the Spider-Man games, they have the God of War games, they have the Horizon games. They do have some PlayStation games on here too, but they also got, for the Windows 11, you get a Windows computer. It does have the Xbox app where you can get Game Pass and all that great stuff. So honestly, PC wins, honestly. PC is just honestly just better. But even if you get a PC, also please get an Xbox. Xboxes are great. I absolutely love, sorry, not an Xbox, a Nintendo Switch. They're honestly great with the games, because here's the thing, you can't get all the Mario games for free, right? So that's basically how that is. So honestly, PC wins. Just trying to get a PC, but you like playing on if you're not going to play on. Now, keyboard mouse, you can also play keyboard mouse too on console. But I feel like there's a little bit more of an input delay, just a little bit. I feel like PC is just going to be faster and just more convenient. So anyway, that's going to be it, everybody. Thank y'all so much for listening to the Tech Podcast Press Buttons, and I will see y'all later. Peace out, everybody.